First to that news of a potential £3.1 billion takeover offer for Tottenham. Billionaire American-Iranian Jahm Najafi is leading the plans on behalf of his company, MSP Sports Capital, having also explored a potential offer to invest in Everton. Plenty to talk about with Chief Reporter Kaveh Solhekol. What do we know?
Well, this is a big story that came out in the Financial Times this morning, and according to them, Jahm Najafi is working to put together a bid which will be worth around £3.1 billion to try and buy Spurs. He's putting together a consortium. He's the chair of MSP Capital. They will be providing about 70% of the funds for the proposed takeover with their partners. The other 30% of the funds will be coming from backers in the Gulf, mainly in Abu Dhabi. The situation as far as Tottenham are concerned, though, is my understanding is there has been no approach to the club and the club is not for sale. Now, what do we know about Jahm Najafi? Well, he is a Iranian-American billionaire. He owns his own private equity firm. He used to be an investment banker, and his company MSP Capital have a lot of interests in different sports around the world. For instance, they own 15% of the McLaren F1 team. They also own football clubs in Belgium, Spain, Germany as well, and they've been in talks about buying a minority stake in Everton.
Where does the figure of 3.1 billion come from?
Well, it's easier if we talk in dollars, because according to the FT, the bid is going to be worth $3.75 billion. And they say that values the club at $3 billion. And the other $750 million is the debt that Tottenham have, because obviously they've spent a lot of money building the stadium. Now, the stadium is arguably the best football stadium in the world. That is one of the reasons why Tottenham is such an attractive proposition. Also, they've got a brilliant training ground, one of the best training grounds in the world. They're regularly in the Champions League. Yes, I know they haven't won a trophy for 15 years, but a lot of clubs haven't won a trophy for 15 years. I think one of the most attractive things about Tottenham, exactly what we saw with Chelsea. If you're a billionaire who wants to buy a Premier League club, ideally you want a club in London. London is where you're based. It's probably where you have a home, you have your business. One of the outposts of your business is probably going to be in London. You spend a lot of time there. If you want to own a club, you want the club to be close to where you live and work as well for some parts of the year. Does
this leave the interest in Everton out with the washing?
I don't think it does. I think talks are continuing about the investment in Everton. As I said, MSP invest in a lot of different sports. They're looking at investing in clubs and other sports businesses the whole time. So I don't think that this necessarily means that any investment in Everton is now off the table.
So you've now got Tottenham potentially involved in a sale, plus Liverpool, plus Manchester United, three of the biggest six clubs in England. What does that tell us?
Well, it's interesting because I think it tells us that some people think now is the time to buy, and some very, very clever people think now is the time to sell. For instance, the owners of Liverpool, they feel that now is maybe not the time to sell, but now is the time to bring in some outside investment as well. But it's undeniable that, some of the richest people in the world want to own a Premier League club. And these kind of clubs, like Manchester United, like Liverpool, like Chelsea, like Spurs, don't become available very often. Spurs are not available at the moment because they're not for sale. But you don't normally get to have any kind of chance of owning these clubs. At the moment you do, because their owners, for a variety of reasons, some of them feel that they need investment to redevelop the infrastructure of their clubs and they don't want to spend that money themselves. Others just think now is the time to sell. I think that is what we're seeing. And of course, we had the situation with Chelsea last year, which created so much interest. That finally ended up with Todd Burley and Clearlake Capital buying Chelsea for £2.5 billion. I think that has shown people what a big Premier League club is worth.
Kaveh, thank you.